What do you want to draw? I gotta be honest with you. You don't have to know this. Um, I've been thinking for a while, and in short, I I have been getting into drawing more bugs and insects. Perhaps that's because of what has just been like interesting me over the time. For the longest time, I was doing a lot of gesture drawing and basically a lot of object drawing as well. Just trying to figure out form, perspective. I mean, there's still a lot that I don't know. I don't know everything, but for the most part, when you do, a lot of the basics are very boring. Like, there's not really too much fun about trying to draw a line and connect them between 2 points. There's nothing that inherently fun about drawing different ellipses, or even trying to add a three-dimensionality to them using contour ellipses. I guess that should have been more like that. But, I think the problem is, I think from the get-go you should have a goal in mind of something that you want to draw and not just be doing practice without it. I think you would get a lot farther if you had an idea. So let me try to think of an image. I wish I had a better image on me. I'm gonna try to pull something up. No. Okay, well I don't have anything on me at the start, but I think the important thing to kind of go about, or I hate to say admit, the thing that I kind of hate to admit is that I feel like more often than not you're just going to have to draw for years until you can even get to that point of really truly drawing what you want to do. And that's not even trying to partially draw from imagination or even attempt that. And it's really daunting, but I think you need to somehow either write it down somewhere to try to hold yourself accountable to it, or perhaps go to a library and maybe find some subject you're interested in and start drawing it more to become more familiar with it. And who knows, you may not even like it. Personally, okay, so I have a little wasp buddy, or asshole with wings, as a lot of people near me would call these things. No, I think they're pretty cool. I used to not be a big fan of wasps, as they are a bit territorial and they could sting you. But I have to say, I went on kind of a sabbatical, just drawing people for years. I kind of like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I took two courses at the same time. One was Drawbox, and the second one was the Proco figure drawing course. Obviously, the Drawbox one was a lot more meaningful because you get feedback, but it also took longer to complete based on how you get feedback on it. Oops, that was too slow. I mean, too small. So I thought it was a bit slow, and I thought there would be blank periods of time when I would be ahead on the work before I could submit another lesson, and I was just kind of stuck in limbo. So I would either try to grind more Drawbox exercises or even start the next lesson, but even then I would get to a point in which I couldn't go ahead because there was a limit set on it. So I started doing a lot of figure drawing. I'm not liking the shape. I'm going to start with another shape. I believe this would be the thorax. Let me get that better. So I did a lot of gesture drawing, and it was extremely infuriating because I just couldn't do it well, to the point that I wanted it to be, or the quality. And I guess you could say there are things that I can clearly tell that I'm better at now, but I was partially kind of still in that same phase. And I didn't stop though. I just I didn't accept being bad at it, but I can clearly tell that I wasn't good at it. and it's so frustrating, um, outright depressing, and I wish, like, I got to a point now that I could kind of draw, like certain things I'm more happy, um, than I was in the past, and it's just like I'm not going to stop now because I know I got this far and I know I can only improve more. And I think having that mindset is good. Celebrating the small victories. Not to bore you, as I always talk about software, um, but with software, you have to small. You have to celebrate the small accomplishments with it, because when you are one person working on some given application, there are so many aspects to it that it's awful. When I say awful, I mean most pieces of software that you will ever run into like require a team of dedicated people to like a very specific task. Like I'm gonna open an application I made called Drawsome 2 just to kind of give you an idea. So if you see like the user interface of this, there's like the interface that you see. There's trying to choose things that are contrasting. Then there's when you hover over it, does the color change? How do you tell someone's hovered? There's like there's so many different variables that you have to track to make like an application good that's usable by people, and it basically user friendly, and not even to go down the rabbit hole of all of the air checking you have to do. um, you have to make things for Windows and Mac, and more often than not, you have to kind of separate out some code based on Windows or Mac because it's different. Both behave a little bit differently based on file path structures. So it's kind of like you're trying to retrofit application. You're trying to make it fit for two applications, and it's just like a big back and forth task. And I do have a lot of development things like not 100% streamlined, but for the most part I have a really good workflow when I do make changes and save them. But the point is, like, in a professional world, I mean, you would have one person that would just make a document of. Oops. Excuse me. You'd have one person that would make the document for just how it's supposed to, like, function and look, based on, like, all of the different paths for it. That's not even considering all of the error checking. So like seriously, there are so many paths, and this application kind of functions like a single page. So like how do I put it? I did a lot of learning and hacking to get it. When I say hacking, I mean that in the way of like solving problems, not like breaking into stuff. I mean, obviously, you know, it's kind of like just a term in computing. Like there's a difference between a hacker and a cracker, which is like hackers try to solve problems. That would be like making paint programs or Drawsome 2, for example. Cracking would be like what people do illegally, which is wrong. But the point I was trying to get at with that is that the amount of like hacking you have to do to get it to work on Windows and Mac and to have the same look and feel without everything being separate is like absolutely crazy. So if you look at the bottom here, I use a thing called Twimojis, and those are like Twitter emojis, and like that was a unique case itself because emojis, they function differently based on they function differently based on like the computer you have. So like emojis on your phone, I mean if you have like a smartphone like an iPhone or an Android, they'll behave differently. I mean some may not even show up at all. Sometimes they may, but like Windows uses different emojis compared to Mac, and it's like a total nightmare to deal with. So I didn't know that until I had a friend who I shared my application with. It was obviously a friend, but actually it was my uncle. I installed it on his computer, and my application is appeared broken, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? So that wasn't fun to fix, but the solution was to use images because emojis are just too variable. and they just don't always function properly. So there's the point I'm trying to get at here is that when you're making this application, you could think to your or anything, or a WASP drawing, for example, you could have in your mind that I know exactly what I want to draw. You probably don't. And I may not even know 100% what I want to draw, but I'm not going to let that paralyze me. I'm still going to do it, and I'm happy to share it with you on YouTube. But the point I'm trying to get at is that with something like this, things like these require a team, and I'm only one person. And, my solution was just to work on it constantly throughout various nights. Very late nights were spent making it. So I think when it comes to drawing, to a certain extent, you're not going to know what you want to draw, but you can't just say because you don't know the full picture you're not going to draw. You have to, I guess you could say, fail faster. Don't go into the mindset that you're going to fail, and don't let that over stress you. But know that it's worth it. You'll get there, and it just takes a long time to get good, but you can. Okay, you definitely can. So I don't mean to discourage you. I mean, I'm kind of I do the drawing because it's fun to me, not because it's well, I do it for a lot of reasons, but I do it because it's really therapeutic to me, and in my day-to-day job, I deal with software, and it's extremely stressful. So more often than not, I kind of do have a hard time at nights trying to do any software development because of that. It's just, and the other thing is, when I was doing that, I wasn't drawing at all, so it kind of took away from my drawing experience, which was a bit of a disappointment. But hey, I did it for you. I did it to help people like you get better at drawing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I did. I made the first things for myself before I made a YouTube channel, and I actually did have a lot of people download my applications, and that was before I started hosting them on my Gumroad, because I wanted to have a way that people could rate it, my free and my paid applications. But I thought it'd be better to have a area where people can do that. I mean, obviously the best thing would be if there was some type of public area where people can talk about my software. I mean, not that people look, I gotta be honest with you, people just want to have a tool that works, and I completely understand that. I mean, that's the point of it. It shouldn't be too much more than that. I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so I was trying to show that things take a long time, but you can do it. So yeah. Okay. So I was also talking about there's the interface, then there's the functionality, then there's the slideshow, then there's everything in between, then there's all the features, and I guess you could compare a lot of that to drawing, because more often than not, there's the gesture of the wasp, and you know what? I'm probably gonna make a dedicated video about that, but more often than not, gesture is trying to do what happened to my lines. I completed that, but it didn't stick. Darn, it's probably a bit more down there. But the gesture is the big picture of the stuff. And I kind of made if you're watching this video, you'll see I just kind of made the legs the gesture slide here, but I gotta be honest with you, the gesture I'll make another dedicated video for that to better show it, because I it's just a bad example of what I did, and I'm making all these other mistakes here as well, but hey, that's a part of the process, and obviously it's tucked there, you really can't see it, you can sort of see it, And you can kind of see his eye a bit, or part of it. I think that's its eye. Sort of, not really. Maybe. Kind of see a bit over here. It's hard to see. So basically, just understand there's a lot to drawing beyond just being able to get the current big picture. You have, like you always trying to look closer to the thing you're trying to draw is a plus. And also know that like you're gonna miss things, and probably having someone else to try to help you point out what you're missing will greatly accelerate your learning. Because I feel like sometimes you have to spend a long time looking at the thing you want to draw before you can really comprehend it and understand it, and you'll be amazed at what you miss when you don't look at something, or even trying to draw something again and again and again and taking your time at it will really help you greatly. You know, I would also say in this case the wings are very gestural. And there's so much more deeper that you can go with when you're drawing anything. Like here I can kind of see that on this wasp here there are these conical, like its exoskeleton kind of wraps around. It's kind of like this asshole shield. No, I'm just kidding. It's kind of like this shield that protects it from, I'm guessing, getting crunched or attacked, or protects its innards. I'm not really sure what organs are in the I believe this would be the abdomen. But you kind of have this banding. I probably should have extended it a bit more. And I'm probably not getting all the sections. I'm just trying to draw kind of what I see. And normally I would probably use more reference to get a full, better picture. Picture is a little bit blurry, so maybe it was kind of my fault for not using the best picture. And I think it kind of it's more of a flow when it comes to how the thorax connects to the abdomen. And also, I'm not like drawing all of the wing patterns. Like there is this like structure on the wasp wing. And now that I think about it, I feel like its head should have been more out that way. I think it should have been. Oh well, you're gonna make mistakes, and well, at least like have learn from my mistakes, and like see that even I am making screw ups here and there. And like even when I'm looking back at this like before that I did the gesture for, I don't like it. Like it kind of feels like it should like go out more like that and then go in more. But the benefit is when you're drawing in digital you can correct that, but perhaps I'm using it as too much of a crutch. I can also kind of tell that like with the wasp legs they kind of have like 4 sections to it, to its like leg bean things. And I really should get another reference to look at it. I will. I'm not trying to make that the point of this video, but learn from my mistakes. And I'm definitely going to have to revisit other exercises. Another point that I would want to say is, other people may have said it before as well, always keeping a record of what you've drawn could be a very good thing to kind of see your progress. Perhaps that could even lead you to what you want to draw, or maybe you know exactly what you want to draw and you could just work towards that point. Or perhaps like trying to get more knowledge about something that interests you, or like something that you want to be known for, or heck just something that you want to actually draw. But yeah, there's a ton. Like, man, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, if you look at the section here, I don't even know what I was thinking when I did that. Because I really can't see it too much. I mean, sort of, but I feel like I'm kind of making it up. Like, I feel like it kind of, like, ends there, and I really can't see it. I mean, it's still there, clearly. Like, something is still there, but it's just so hard to see, and I don't like to, I don't like to lie when it comes to what I'm doing. And this, you know, I should have made it come out of the center more, but I didn't do a good job doing that. You know, but don't worry. Like I said, I'm going to make another video kind of talking about that. And I want to, like, so regarding trying to determine what you want to draw, I kind of realized that, you know, even once you find that out, it doesn't mean you have to commit to it 100%. I mean, it could be good to, like, commit yourself to draw to it for a while and, you know, figure out if you like it or if you don't like it. I think that's a good method, but, like, to force yourself to have to commit yourself to any one thing, I mean, that's just nonsensical. Let yourself determine that. I mean, unless you're relying on it for an income, maybe that's not the best thing, or maybe, like, don't feel trapped. I think a thing about art is that to feel trapped is worse than to even get in it in the first place. Or who knows, maybe it could be a good thing that you could pay your bills. Like, obviously paying your bills is something you have to do, but at the same point, you know, you also don't want to feel trapped. But if you do, perhaps you could work your way towards not getting trapped, or trying to work around that, if possible. I don't like this bean. It's kind of like a grabber there. It's kind of like a little latch thing. I kind of see it. There's some hair. I don't know. I can't remember how to draw hair the best, but it's got hair on it. I'm guessing the wasp has hair, so I bet there's a reason. It's either a warmth, or maybe it's a nature thing, because I think a wasp will sometimes like are pollinators as well, so probably pollen gets stuck on them on their hairs. That's my guess. I don't know. There's probably a deeper reason. And, like, the other thing I kind of missed here, which is really gestural, are the there's like a structure to its wings, which kind of like holds the wings together. And I'm having a really hard time seeing it based on the resolution of the image, and I don't like to BS anything I draw, but I'm kind of BSing it. You know, it's kind of like these. It's definitely something to keep it in place. And like I said, I should have used another bit of reference to kind of grasp it better, to understand what it is that I'm seeing. But yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to draw, even though there's a lot of the wasp that I can't 100% see. But yeah, only you can tell with time, and I think that perhaps exploring a bunch of different mediums could be beneficial, because you may not know what you like and what you don't like, and you may just have to try a bunch of different courses for years until you could finally say you know what you like and you know what you want to draw. And I'm going to try to connect the structure of this wasp here, because you have these, I like to call it asshole armor. Nothing against the wasp. But, you know, it kind of, like, connects. You have its stinger, which I guess I don't really need to draw. It's there. Everyone knows it's there. We wish we didn't know that it's there, but it's there. You know what? I made the wings way too small. So I guess that's a good thing. Another benefit is, you know, not knowing what you want to draw from the get-go could be beneficial, because maybe it will help you work towards what you want to, and you won't be so frustrated. Like, once you put in your drawing time to the point that, like, you know what you can see and you could spot out your mistakes and you have more confidence, it may be more encouraging, so you know you have the confidence to draw what you want to. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope I don't sound like a broken record, because perhaps I lack the experience to know what I even want to draw. Um, but heck, don't let it stop you from drawing. Always try to draw something a little every day, and it will go a long way. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you like my content, please check out my other content. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you have a comment, please ask in the comments below. But yeah, thanks. Bye.